Welcome to this episode where I will be taking you through some of the best plugins that you can use for your WordPress website. My name is Eugene. I'm from Disalox. I'm a web developer. And I've put together a short list of plugins that can help you secure your website, as well as provide you with some really great and awesome tools that can enhance your website, protect the website, and make your overall web development experience a lot better. I'll be sharing some of it through presentation and then through live demonstration using our Disalox website. And I'm going to, let's get straight into it before I before I say too much. I'll be sharing my screen as well as the slides I've got for you guys. You are welcome to give a chat. If you guys that's currently online, thanks a lot for joining. Just give me a thumbs up if you guys can hear me and see me correctly. Let's see. Okay, so let's get, hi, Yanri, Brian, Jonathan, welcome, guys. Okay, so let's start off with just a quick question and just a quick explanation of what are WordPress plugins. Maybe some of you guys don't know that yet. You might be new developers. So a quick explanation is WordPress is a web development platform that's installed on your server on which you then develop your website. Plugins, WordPress basically allows plugins which were developed by other people to be downloaded from its free WordPress repository, and it basically installs on your WordPress website and it enhances the default features of the website. So if you develop your site and if you use WordPress, there's no doubt that you will need to use quite a lot of plugins. One of the challenges that we found, well, that you'll find, is that there are millions of plugins available. There's basically not a function or a feature that you want on your website that's not available in a plugin form. That basically creates a problem that out of all the plugins, you basically have to filter through the plugins that will actually be worthwhile. So over the last couple of years, I've developed tens of websites, probably in 50, 60 websites. And through those websites, I've now gravitated towards using a couple of plugins on all the websites, and they have proven to be the best in their scenarios and in the application. So I'm quickly going to take you through each one of them, discuss them. You guys are welcome to give feedback, to ask questions. I've got Annalise moderating in the background, and we can answer all your questions. So I've got just to start off, I've got a quick question for you guys, which is, have you used plugins on WordPress before? Let me just quickly start off the poll there. So just quickly give me an indication. This is just so that I can get an idea of who you guys are. Have you developed before? Okay, that's great. I'm glad that hopefully most of this will be new to you guys because you haven't used plugins yet. So, okay, without further ado, let me start off with the first one. To start off with, and to just make sense about over the plugins, I'm currently going to discuss, I think, about 15, 16 plugins with you. So it's quite a bit. I'm not going to go into the details of each one, but I would suggest get a piece of paper close by, write down their names. This will be available as a video afterwards, and you guys can go through the video as well. It will also be uploaded on our YouTube channel, and it's also available as a e-learning course for free on our Tewit website. So what I've done is, on my best plugins, I've basically categorized them according to the list that you'll see on the screen. So I've got a couple of security plugins which are critical for the security of your site. I then have system tools. These are tools that you'll need on WordPress itself. Then something that's very important, optimization and speed plugins that will basically drive the speed of your site. I don't know if you guys know, but if the speed of the site is slow, typically slower to load than 5 seconds, then it's seriously detrimental to your site, and Google will basically not rank your site very high. So speed is very critical. Then we've got backup and restore plugins. This is something that I've had to help a lot of customers before, because they will basically they'll spend months developing their website and it will crash and you can't recover your site. Then I've got some really cool utilities at the end And these are free plugins that you can use to just do really cool stuff on your site. And then a quick look at forms and a shop, which is a little bit more serious, a little bit more committed to developing a website. So I'm basically going to cover those, what are they, six areas. And through that, I will be sharing my screen as well. So I apologize if I have to look down at my screen now and then to just get everything going. Okay, so let's start off with the security plugins. You will see that I've listed 3 security plugins there. The first one is called iThemes, Rename, and then All-in-One Security. So while you guys are looking at that, I'm going to do a live screen share, and then I will show you, there we go, I will show you using our Disalox website. Okay, if you guys can just give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen there. This is the back office admin screen for our own website, Disalox. And you will see that I'm currently in the dashboard. And it's basically, I love using a dashboard to see all kinds of stuff. So in WordPress, I'm not going to go through the details of WordPress. On the left-hand side, you will see you've got all your menu options. And closer to the bottom, I've got plugins there. I'm going to open up my plugins menu, and you will see that we are running quite a lot of plugins. I'm going to go to the active ones. We're currently running 23 plugins, and I'm quickly going to call up the 3 plugins that I've just now mentioned. Let me just scroll down here. There we go. Okay, so the first one is iThemes security. Let's see, it's alphabetical. Okay, so iThemes security is a replacement for the previous WordPress security. And iThemes security is an all-encompassing security platform that includes blockouts for people wanting to hack your site. It includes a natural firewall. And what it also does is it sends you emails if something happens. So you can do daily reports or weekly reports. But within this one center, they call it a security center, it basically covers everything. So I've opened up the view there for you to see what it's all about. Let's see if they feature, you've got all kinds of security features, login features, password features. The great thing about this iThemes is basically if you install iThemes security, you don't need to install 5 other systems to do that. So definitely consider looking at iThemes. Let me just hide it there. The next one I basically want to talk to you guys about is rename your WP login. Now, what's interesting is I had a discussion on one of our other episodes about this, and that is that if you install a WordPress website, the administrator login for that website is basically a website /WP admin, and that is a public. It's a well-known public default login to get to your admin. The problem with that is that if you tell everyone, all the hackers and everyone out there, that the back door for my site is, or the back door of my house is over there, then it obviously makes it quite easy for hackers and nasty guys to get into your site. So one of the things that we do is that you hide your site. And using the analogy of a house, the house and the front end of the house is typically the website that you see. But logging into the admin, you go through the back door. So a very good idea is to basically hide the back door so that hackers don't know where the login, username, and password form is. And we do this with rename wplogin.php. It's a free plugin. It's super powerful. And once you install it, your login admin URL is different. It doesn't use the wAdmin URL, which means it's virtually impossible for someone to just get to the login screen. What you do have to remember is if you rename your login, you must actually bookmark that, because you yourself might actually lock yourself out. However, if that happens, if you go to the plugin, they tell you how to recover the default site. So this is something we've got done on all our platforms. It's a really powerful way to hide from hackers and hide where they can log in. Then the last one of the critical security plugins is the all-in-one WP security. This security plugin is powerful in the sense that it monitors attacks on your website. If you have a website, people don't realize that you probably have about 50 to 100 website attacks per day. Now, these aren't hackers sitting at their homes waiting for the opportunity to hack your site, because they don't know your site. But they've written software that basically runs through websites and tries and cracks them. So one of the things that you want to do is you want a security plugin that sort of monitors who's trying to log in, who's trying to hack me. And what it does is it basically sees that on a certain IP address, someone is now the guy has tried 3 or 4 or 5 times to log in. And what it'll do is it'll temporarily block that IP. And what the hacker diverts his attention somewhere else. This is a powerful plugin, and I put this on email to receive daily updates. It's a little bit shocking, I must admit. It's a little bit shocking if you see how many people are trying to hack your site. The problem is if one of them get in, then they damage the site completely. We're not only talking about people hacking your site to get usernames and passwords, because they can't really do that. But what they do is they hack into your site and they monitor emails from the site. From the site, they can get into your emails, and then generally they damage the site. So you need to then go into backup. So it's a really nasty thing if people get in. If you follow those 3 security plugins, I'm quickly going to go back to just show you guys the share of that. If you follow those 3 security plugins, iTheme Security, rename your plugin an all-in-one WP Security and Firewall, you'll be sorted. I think between those 3 working together, there's I don't want to say no chance, but there's a very small chance that someone will be able to get you. So, okay, remember those. Let's go on to the next one, system tools. Okay, so system tools that I categorize as system tools are plugins that help you on WordPress itself. And we've got 3 there as well. So we've got Supercache, WP Supercache, really simple SSL, and Easy Updates Manager. So let me show you WP Cache. If I scroll all the way down, there we go. Where is it? There we go. Okay, so WP Cache. The cache of a website, for those of you guys that aren't that technical or understand cache is basically a short-term memory where it will save images. Your website will save images so that if someone goes to a page, it doesn't have to load the image from scratch. It doesn't have to load the page from scratch. So it'll basically keep the page in memory so that if someone hits the page, it'll download very quickly. The problem with cache is that it makes your site a lot faster. You've got sort of a 20-30% speed increase. The problem then is that if you change something on a web page, it won't show immediately because the cache is currently showing the old one. So what we do is to get control over your cache and the ability to on the one side load stuff faster, but on the other side be able to sort of update it, we install a dedicated cache plugin. It's also free from the repository called WP Supercache. And what I want to show you guys, I'll actually show you how I clean my cache. So the cache is currently turned on. Now I want to basically just see, I've updated the website. I want to see if the page is loaded. You'll see at the top, there's now a new menu, delete cache. I'll quickly go to that. And very easily at the bottom there, you'll see delete cache. So what it does is it deletes all the temporary files in the cache. And if I now refresh my page, I'll see what I've developed. Really powerful, that one. Okay, so let's go on to the next one. The next one is called Really Simple SSL. It's recently become, over the last couple of months, where is it? Really, where is it? I know you guys are probably seeing it before I do. There we go. Really Simple SSL is a security plugin. It is not a safety plugin. It is to control what we call the SSL content that's loaded. So SSL is a security socket layer. It is the way that a website will basically download your images and stuff. Now, the way to see a SSL certificate is if you look in a very good example. Oh, sorry guys. I seem to have. There we go. Thank you. I'm not monitoring. Okay, can you guys see my screen now? Okay, sorry about that, guys. I'm monitoring 2 screens here. Okay, so just getting back to SSL here, I'll monitor a little bit closer. So your SSL certificate is the secure certificate that all websites must run on now. So the way that you see it is, if you look at the top left-hand corner of my URL bar, I'm highlighting it now for you guys. At the top where you type in your website, you see on the left-hand side, there's a little lock. Can you guys see that? That lock basically says that this website runs off a SSL certificate, meaning that anything that is sent to the customer from the website is secure. People can't hack it. The problem is that sometimes you develop your website and you load images and forms and designs and stuff, and some of those images aren't delivered using SSL. This site is not secure. I'll quickly give you a demonstration, because I know one of our sites tend to do that. If I basically go there, this is an unsecured site. So if you look at the top left-hand side, you'll see it shows not secure. And that is actually a problem, because once it shows that, your customers can't log onto the site, or it becomes a dangerous site. So what I do is I basically install really simple SSL, very straightforward, and you just activate it. And what it does is it sorts out all the content to now follow the security rules. You'll see the way that I show you guys how the plugins work is basically by just going to view. So if I want to show you guys a plugin, let's say really simple SSL, you'll see there's the plugin, but it's really difficult to see how the plugin works. So once you've installed it, you'll see on the right-hand side, it shows view details. So all the plugins, Diana, I'll be with you there right now. If you go to view details, you can see the details of that specific plugin. Okay, so I'll take you guys through using this technique. So we've got a question from Diana. Kindly repeat the demonstration on how to utilize Supercache. Okay, guys, that was obviously when my screen was still disabled. I apologize for that. So let's quickly, let me quickly just go through that for you guys. There we go. So there at the bottom, I've got WP Supercache. Once you've installed it, you will basically activate the cache plugin. You'll see I've gone into the plugin itself. At the top, I can turn it on and off permanently. And then while I'm developing my website, so I turn it on so that my site is always fast. But as I said, now and then, if I develop a page, it doesn't update the page because it's actually still in cache. It's showing the old stuff. So there's a new menu then added at the top, delete cache, which is great because while I'm developing, go to delete cache and just say basically delete all the cache and delete any expired content. And poof, it'll load. If I now go to my pages, it'll show the pages. So cache is a really powerful plugin to use. Diana, does that answer your question? Okay. So let's go on to the next one, and that is on our systems tools. Let me just go back to plugins there, install plugins, in my active plugins. Okay, so the last one for our system tools is Easy Updates Manager. This is a great little tool. Is this one here under E, Easy Updates Manager. And it basically, if you look at the description, it manages and disables WordPress updates, including plugins, themes, automatic updates. Okay, so why do you need that? We've all got mobile phones and we all have apps on our phones. And I'm sure that you guys know that if you go to an Android store or even an Apple store, those plugins or those apps need to be updated quite regularly. Exactly the same happens on a WordPress site. So every plugin that you install is constantly being developed and updated. And the challenge then is if you work on your website, as the updates happen, it shows you've got 5 or 10 or 20 plugins that need updated. And you have to do the updates because if you fall behind too far on your updates, you can't update or it will clash. It will give errors later on. So everything needs to basically be upgraded within a couple of months. So what this little plugin does, this Easy Updates Manager, is, I'll quickly open it there, you basically tell the plugin to update all the apps or all the plugins as they become available. And this is quite cool because you don't then have to constantly monitor the plugins. I would say within about 2 weeks to a month, all your plugins will need updating, which means that you're going to have to go to the website every month and go update and update and update. You can do bulk updates, but it's still quite intensive. So by using the Easy Updates Manager, you can just tell it when there's a new update, update it, and it's done. What I do is I basically set it so that it sends you an email every day or every week on what it's updated. And why I do that is sometimes it happens very rarely, probably about 5%. If a plugin updates, it might crash your site because it's in conflict with something else. So if I receive an email update, I sort of know what to look for. I might know that, okay, it's updated those 5 plugins. And then if the website somewhere gives an error or stuff, then I know it's probably, I can isolate the problem to one of those. So it's a good idea to do the same. Use Easy Updates Manager, put in your email so that it mails you the report, and you just sort of browse it to get an idea of what's happening. Luckily, plugins today are extremely stable, and it doesn't generally kill your site, which is always good news. Okay, that's that for the system tool plugins. Do you guys have any questions in the meantime about the security and the system plugins? You guys are welcome to ask them on the chat app. I'm then going to go on to, let me just go on there, to optimization and speed plugins. These are really, really good for user experience. These two are also plugins that don't require any complexity to set up. But once you set it up, your user experience is completely different. So I'll make sure I switch over to my to my screen share now, and I'll quickly show you. The first one is probably one of the most popular plugins in WordPress overall, and it's called Yoast SEO. I'm scrolling down at the bottom there. There we go. And what Yoast does is it basically helps you with search engine optimization. Not sure if you guys know SEO. You guys are welcome to maybe just say in the chat if you guys know what search engine optimization is. Okay, so I see there's one or two guys that just need some advice. Okay, so search engine optimization. So SEO, you might have heard the term, is where you take your website and you take all the different pages and products and everything that you do, sometimes your images as well, and you align them for your search engines like Google and Yahoo and these guys to recognize your page. Where that is extremely important is the search engines are used to search. In other words, someone will go onto Google and they'll basically say, where can I buy toothpaste? And if your website sells toothpaste and you've done a proper SEO on it, then your page will move closer to the top of the search list. So the people that do better SEO on their websites will feature higher up on the list. It's shown that it's something like 80 or 90% of buying decisions comes from the first page of a Google search. So SEO is one of the very important things to do on your website. The problem that we had historically is that to do SEO sometimes takes months, and sometimes it takes even more months for you to start being recognized by Google. And that's what these guys did absolutely fantastic. So Yoast SEO is a free plugin. I'm always amazed at how they do these things for free. And I want to see if let me just go to the screenshots there. Sure, that's not a good screenshot, but maybe what I'll do is I'll open one of my pages and I'll show you on the web page what it looks like. Let's say we go to the home page. I quickly want to show you guys just how Yoast works and what it looks like. Nope. Okay, so this is on my web page itself. And you'll see if you install Yoast, it adds on a little block at the bottom of all your stuff, your pages and stuff. And what's really cool is it shows you demonstrations. It shows you at the top there, the readability is currently orange, and it will show you exactly what is wrong with the page. So what's really good is you don't have to be an SEO specialist now. You install Yoast, and you basically say, okay, look at my page and what must I change? So it will show you the good results. There's passive voice, there's consecutive sentences, but transition of words isn't very good, and it'll show me how to change it. It'll show me my subheading distribution is wrong. Might not know what it is, but there it says you must have more than 300 words. So all you have to do is you install Yoast, and you basically go through their advice. And it takes some time, but once you've done that, you will basically rank very high on Yoast. I've got a quick question. Is Yoast free? Yes, it's actually incredible. So we use the free version of it. You do get a paid version, which gives you more analytics, but I really don't, as a matter of fact, we don't have any website running on the paid version because the free version is so comprehensive. What is really powerful about Yoast is it also optimizes your products in your online store. So we focus on WooCommerce. We specialize in implementing WooCommerce, and Yoast basically looks at WooCommerce products as well. So if you, what's great about that is if you have products in your store, they become search items on Google search engine as well. Really powerful stuff, and Yoast is for free. Okay, the next one, to speed up your site. So Yoast is basically to get you a very high ranking. It must be, in my view, default on all websites, and it's great because you don't need to be an SEO specialist to do that. So let me just go back to my plugins there, sorry. Okay, the next plugin is also automated one. It's called Auto Optimize. There it is at the top of my screen. I'll highlight it there. Okay, and this simple plugin basically, without you knowing it, rearranges the software on the back end so that it basically speeds up your site. Great little plugin because you don't really have to do a lot. You install it. It's all for free. So let me just say that all the plugins I'm showing you guys are currently free. I think with the exception of one, but I'll tell you about it later. So on this auto optimize settings, you will see that all you have to do is you basically activate it on your different, with one button click. You don't really have to do anything else. You save an empty cache, and there we go. So now this plugin will basically speed up my site quite a lot. What's good about the plugin is they work in partnership with another company that actually measures in seconds of your site. So you'll see if you install the site, they ask you if you want that measurement done. In my plugin, in this case, is already installed, so I'm not doing that. But if you install it, they basically link with a site called Why So Slow. And what it does is it does an analysis on your site, and it shows you that the site loaded in, let's say, 12 seconds, which is bad. And then once you implement it, it will basically then show, okay, now the site is loading in 4 seconds, which is obviously great stuff. Okay, so the difference between save changes, I've got a question from Diana. What's the difference between save changes and emptying cache? Is that cache, remember cache is a temporary memory that basically stores your pages and your images and stuff to enhance the speed of it. The problem is that is not the true speed of the site because the cache is actually making it faster. So to save on this, if you say save at the bottom, it basically saves the settings. I tend to do save and empty cache because if the cache is empty, you've got a true reflection of the speed of your site. So you don't want the cache to basically give you wrong figures and stuff. But again, you don't really need to do any of that. You just basically click on the button and that plugin does all of that for you. So Diana, I hope that answers your question. If you guys have questions, please on the chat app, mention them. We'll quickly get to them. And then as this is a video that's used in e-learning, that's one of the reasons why I basically discuss the questions and then answer them so that if you watch the video later on, it makes sense to you. Okay, so that basically brings us to the end of those plugins. Let's look at the next ones. So now we've looked at optimization, we've looked at security. Now my site is safe. We've looked at system plugins. Now it's a little bit more enhanced. It runs fast at the back end. You're using cache and all that stuff. Now you're starting to focus on the optimization of it, which is Yoast and auto optimize. Now the site is starting to get really fast, slick, working together. And that basically then says what happens if the crap hits the fan. What happens if my site falls over? I'm going to do, hang on, I seem to have jumped one. Let me quickly, where's my backups? I have, it looks like one of my slides on here. Okay, so I'll just wing it while we're busy. So the next one that I want to show you guys is your backup plugins. And your backup plugins are super important because the fact is that we're working on technology. Things fail, people hack your site. You might install something as simple as a plugin, or you might do a WordPress update and all of a sudden the site breaks. So you really need to look at the backups and how you do it. Now, again, historically, it would have been a very technical thing to do. Someone would have to do the backups for you on your server or write scripts or stuff. Now, if you've got your own site, you can do it yourself. So I'm quickly going to go over, going to miss that slide. And I'm going to show you, because I've got the notes in any case on how to do it. So let me get back to sharing that. I'm just going to go back to my plugins here. You guys can see how easy I navigated. There we go. Now I'm remembering to to share my screen. Okay, so there we go. Everyone can see my screen again. Okay, so the first of the two plugins I want to show you guys. The first one is called Updraft Plus. Where is it? There we go. Updraft Plus under U. And Updraft Plus is a backup and restore plugin, and it works automatically in the background. Really cool, because every time anything happens on a daily basis or you update plugins, it basically saves the previous version of the plugin, and it also runs on a complete backup of your whole site. So you can manually say backup and restore the site, or you can set it on a timer that every night it basically backs up your site. We've had it on a couple of customers where something happened, someone hacked the site, or there was just an update in WordPress, and all of a sudden the site became unusable. You couldn't even log in at the back, so you have to sort of fight your way into the site. But once you're in the site, we default install Updraft Plus on all our sites. Very simple. Go to restore. It shows you yesterday you did a backup, restore the backup, and your site is up and running. Really powerful tool. And it just puts your MAC address. It's sort of your insurance policy that it's not if something goes wrong, it's when something goes wrong. Luckily, as I said earlier, on WordPress, not a lot of things break. It's really quite stable. The next one I want to show you from the backup side is this one at the bottom called WP Rollback. Now, WP Rollback, very similar to Updraft Plus, you can roll back a plugin to the previous version. That is required if any of your plugins is the reason for the site breaking. So remember, you've got on the previous sessions, you've got Easy Updates Manager. So you've got this Easy Updates Manager that is currently updating all your plugins in the background. So one morning you come out and you say, "Oi, the site is offline." You log into the back and you can sort of see based on the Update Manager, it is one of these two plugins that did it. And what you can do now is, if you've got the WP Rollback installed, you'll see on the right-hand side of all the plugins, if you look on the right-hand side underneath each plugin, you can deactivate the plugin, or you can rollback. So if I know which plugin is the problematic one, it's awesome. I just click on rollback, and it basically gives me, let me just do one as an example. Let's say I could probably just do Yoast. If I say rollback, it'll basically show me all the previous versions. It'll show me the installed one, and I can now say, okay, this was a problematic one, roll back to that version and roll back. And it's awesome because it does it automatically, and your website's restored. I love rollback because it means you can focus on the plugins that are creating the problem for you guys. Okay, now I've added that in because my slides obviously didn't show all the stuff. So I'm back on the slides. Now we're getting closer to the end of the demonstration. I still just have two, shall I say, discussions. The first one is utilities. Utilities are things that make the development of your site a lot simpler. and it adds on some functionality. We use about 15 utilities. I've basically, for you guys, I've put together the 3 that are default on all our platforms. The first one is called Simple Custom CSS, Duplicate Page, and Pop-Up Maker. They're all quite spectacular, and I'll quickly show you what they do. Okay, let's start off with Simple Custom CSS. Okay, in your website, sometimes as you start developing, someone will say, listen, you need to load this piece of code onto your website. A good example is if you set your website up on Google Analytics and you want to basically get Google Analytics to start tracking your site. Google will give you a little piece of code that they say in the instructions, all these things have got good instructions. The instructions will basically say, load this code on your website. And the problem is, where do you do that? Unless you get very, very technical. So the cool thing about the simple CSS, let me go down to it. There we go. Simple CSS, that one, simple CSS, simple custom CSS in JavaScript. Easily add custom CSS onto your website with an awesome editor. Now, if you install it and you activate it, if you look on my left-hand menu here, you'll see there it installed it as a menu option, custom CSS and JavaScript. And all you have to do is, if someone says, listen, let's say Google says, load this JavaScript onto your site. I'm quickly going to open it up in a different window and show you guys. Watch this. There, you basically open it up and you just paste the code that like Analytics gives you. So I've got Google Analytics there, and Google will say, listen, take this code and put it on your website. That's all you do, is you say, basically add the JavaScript code, drop it in, say update, and now your code is loaded. So this little plugin allows you to add the code from all these different places that ask you to do it onto your site instead of working sort of on the server. Really good. And you'll see this is this Disalox site. We don't have a lot of custom code that we require, but you'll see that typically I've got the Facebook pixel code of Google Analytics, Google AdWords, and then the chat app. So this is default for us. We might end up with 20 of these little codes. So that little app we use this quite a lot. The next one under the utilities is the duplicate page. Let me just go back into plugins there. Okay, I always go to my active plugins to just show the short list of it. Okay, next one is duplicate page. Duplicate page is one of those lesser known, very powerful tools that allows you to copy a page that you develop, or a post, or an image, or a product. It might sound like maybe a little stupid requirement, but once you start developing, you put a lot of work into a page, or let's say a website page. So I'm quickly going to open up in the next tag my pages, and I'll show you what I mean. I'm opening up all the pages. So there I've got all my pages that makes up my website. There's my home page, and my landing pages, and my launch page, orders, pricing, thank you page, all that. So let's take an example. There I've got landing page 1. So I'll open that as well for you guys. On this side, that's what my landing page looks like. And you can see I've put in quite a lot of work in it. You know, there's a heading, there's forms, there's all these other stuff. Now I want to make another one like this and change it a little bit. Instead of developing everything, if you install the duplicate page plugin, have a look at this. Just below the page, we've got your different edit options. Look, these, you've got edit, you've got quick edit, trash, view, but now you've got duplicate this. And all I have to do is click on duplicate this, and it basically duplicates that page and it makes it a draft version of it. Which means I don't need to now change, I don't need to redevelop the page. I can basically go in there, and now I'll show you this is the new one. There we go, it duplicated the page. And I can now rename it and make changes to it, and off we go. So I think duplicate page as a feature was probably one of the first plugins that I started using on all my sites. It's really cool. So let me just move this page into trash before it starts interfering with the rest of my site. Okay, so let's go back. Let me close that. Okay, duplicate page is a really, really cool utility. and together with a simple CSS plugin, quite powerful. And then the last one of these utilities, which is actually not a utility, it's a full-blown piece of software, are your pop-ups. Let me quickly, I don't have a formal poll for it, but let me ask you guys, firstly, let's start with, do you know what a pop-up is? So in the chat app, if you don't mind, just say yes or no. Give me an idea if you know what a pop-up is. Okay, we've got a couple of no's. Thank you guys for the feedback. Okay, a quick explanation of what a pop-up is. A pop-up is if you browse on your website, a box pops up, obviously the name for the pop-up. It pops up and it asks you something. You can use a pop-up to announce a special. You can use a pop-up to ask people to subscribe to your newsletter, anything like that. So we've tried to do pop-ups for years, and then we stumbled upon this little tool. It's called the Pop-Up Maker. Let me show you there we go, and the P Pop-Up Maker. And I'll show you now what it does if you actually create a pop-up. So it's installed. I've got a couple of them going, so I'll show you one of my pop-ups there. Oh, shucks, we don't have any pop-ups installed for this. What I'll do is I'll open up one of our other sites and quickly show you while I'm busy here. Okay, so with pop-ups, just give me a second here. It's logging in. So I'm just going over onto WeSpeak's website where we use pop-ups. Okay, there we go. Okay, that's WeSpeak's website. You'll see a very similar look and feel. We set up our websites all the same. If we set it up for clients, it's all set up like this. You don't really have to do anything. So I'm going to use Pop-Up Maker there. You'll see we use pop-ups all over the place. And there we go. So we've got on this website, we've got a newsletter pop-up. If I open it up, I can now design the thing. I can decide what it must look like. I can put forms on. So I go through a basic design. It might look a little bit complex, but once you start working on WordPress, it becomes quite obvious. And at the bottom here, I can basically set all kinds of stuff. You'll see at the moment, I'll say that the trigger to open this website, it opens after a certain time delay. I've delayed it for 300,000 milliseconds, so it's 300 seconds, so it's 5 minutes. So if someone is on the site for 5 minutes, this pop-up will show. That's one of the ways that you do it so that the pop-up doesn't annoy people. Now, let me quickly give you an example, because I can start this pop-up as a preview. If I click on preview, this is what a pop-up does. It loads your site, and then there's your site, and there it pops up. So this is a very simple pop-up that says get notifications. It asks you your first name and last name, and you can submit. This is what a pop-up basically does. So for pop-ups, for our site, we basically use the Pop-Up Maker. And again, it's free to use. It's extremely powerful, and you can modify very much anything on it, or you can use one of the templates that it uses. Okay, now let's go back to the last section, which are your forms and plugins. And these become a little bit more advanced, but not advanced, it's very functional. So on the form side, we use a plugin called Gravity Forms. It is to create forms. Now, you don't need Gravity Forms. Gravity Forms does come with a paid license. It's not a lot. I think it's something like $20 or $16 or something. But Gravity Forms is a very powerful form designer. And a form is basically where you create blocks that people fill in with the submit button. Very similar to what I did on the newsletter plugin. So to create a form can sometimes be daunting on the old pieces of software. So the reason why we use Gravity Forms, it's got a drag and drop interface to create forms. And then, so I just want to show you guys Gravity Forms. And then I just want to show you a shop. You've got different kinds of shops. You've got Shopify. You've got all kinds of stuff to make your site into an e-commerce site. We use WooCommerce. It's the simplest. I think it's currently the largest online shop platform in the world. So again, I'll quickly show you guys just what it looks like. Let's go into, just let me show you my screen again. And I'm going into my plugins. There we go, install plugins. Okay, so the first thing is with Gravity Forms. There we go. Okay, so on Gravity Forms, once it's installed, You see I need to do an update there. That's how it shows you need to do an update. Once Gravity Forms is installed, on the left-hand side, you will get the Forms menu. The Forms menu is where you're then going to develop all your forms. This Forms menu is not there. It's specifically Gravity that installs this for you. So I'll quickly show you what it looks like. If I go to my forms, you'll see there I've got a couple of forms created, how to order WordPress, how to fill in the landing pages, ask us a question. But I'll quickly just start off a new form. What is interesting is if you look at the right-hand side, it shows you a couple of really cool statistics. So you'll see there, you can see the entries of the form, but you can also see how many people have viewed the forms. So if you just look at this figure, we've got 9,200 people that have actually asked questions using the Ask Us a Question form. I generally clear my entries, so the entries aren't that important because we use the CRM system for what we do. But you'll see also there we've got a webinar special where people have filled in the form. It gives you quite a lot of information. So just to give you a quick visual demonstration, let's say we call this test form. I'm not going to give it a description. And I'll show you how easy it is to generate a form. Just allow me to quickly open up. There we go. I'm just opening up a WooCommerce. So if you look at this, it's really straightforward. It will say you on the right-hand side, you've got these fields and you can drag them and drop them. So let's say I want the guy's name. There we go. And it'll basically add on the first name and last name. I also want to get the guy's email address. There we go. And maybe I want the guy's phone number. Okay. And if I update, there we go. The form was created. You'll see it's really, really straightforward. What is also quite cool is under settings, I can now say, let's go there. So under settings, you will see there's confirmation. So it will send the customer automatically a confirmation. Thank you for getting in touch. We can also send ourselves notifications, but guess what? That's already been set up. So that is how complex it was for me to create that form. And I can even, once the form is there, I can go into preview and say, show me the form. And there we go. So this form, I can actually just put onto my website and for it to look like this. So again, a practical demonstration. I quickly want to show you guys one of the pages we do. I'm just going to go to visit website. Again, this is the Disalox site. And you'll see now for these episodes I've done, don't miss out on the June special. If I click on that, it puts me onto a page, and guess what? On the right-hand side, there we've got a form. I've made it look prettier. I've made it fit into the website by changing the colors and stuff like that. But there you see, I mean, you guys just basically saw how I created this form. There's first name, mobile number, email address. Now I'm asking a couple of questions, and there you've got submit and start the magic. And we use Gravity Forms to do that form. You'll see it's a really powerful way to do it. The last plugin for this episode I want to show you guys is just WooCommerce. WooCommerce on this Disalox site isn't set up yet, but I want to show you guys WooCommerce is an e-commerce platform, and it allows you to load products. So just a quick explanation of you download WooCommerce. It's completely free. You download it, install it on your site, you activate it. Straightforward instructions to do, and then you can start selling. You can start advertising products and sell products. And what you do is you can load products. There, I've opened the menu for you guys. You can load your products, and then you can sell them. So you'll see your orders and your dashboard of sales. I don't really have that good an example for you guys, but let me use one of my clients, one of their websites, to just show you what a typical WooCommerce site will look like. So this is a company called Young Entrepreneurs, and Young Entrepreneurs basically it's a business school for kids and for teens and for young adults. So it actually trains. It's really cool. Not that I'm promoting it now, but it really shows or it trains young kids how to do business, how to be entrepreneurs. Very powerful. So we've developed this website for them, and they sell these online programs. If you look at the site, I've created this as a table. It makes it easy for people now to to see the products that they have. This isn't the shop yet, but now if I click on any of the products, it will basically take me to the product in the shop. And I'll show you now, it's just loading. Okay, and there we go. So there it's got the product, it shows the title, it shows the price of the product, it shows the summary. I've built this and this is a product. And once you basically have a product, you can basically get people to put it in their cart and go and pay for your service. So I would strongly recommend, I'll strongly recommend that you guys look at WooCommerce. Really straightforward, and we also support it quite big time. So we've got a question here from Jonathan. Which affiliate marketers can you use for products? Okay, so let me just quickly explain to the rest of the guys what is affiliate marketing. Affiliate marketing is if you sell people's product on their behalf. So you're an agent or you're an affiliate. That's basically, you're an affiliate marketer. And there's two sides to it. So you can set up your site and offer products so that someone else sells it. Really great way to make money because you've got agents basically selling your products, or you can be the affiliate. So you can go to Amazon. Amazon is basically sort of pioneered affiliate marketing. So you can go to Amazon and say, listen, I want to sell your products on your site. They will give you a little code, and then you can load the products that you want to sell just on your site. And anyone that buys from your site, you basically get revenue from it. So, Jonathan, what we basically do is we are usually the affiliate partner. So we set up the affiliate program. The plugin that we use for that is called WP Affiliate. It's probably from all the affiliate programs out there, the best one. It does come at a price. It's not a free one. It's not expensive. Again, I think it's about $20, $30 for the plugin. But WP Affiliate allows your website to become the affiliate partner. Let's see, can WooCommerce integrate to Pastel? Yes, you can. The accounting packages don't naturally fit into WooCommerce. There are plugins on the Pastel side, on the accounting side, that syncs to WooCommerce. I haven't done a accounting package integration before. We usually integrate with the CRM package, but we run a couple of shops. I can definitely find out more. I know that Pastel and QuickBooks and these platforms, they advertise WooCommerce plugins. So I can only assume, knowing that WooCommerce is fairly straightforward, is that it should be quite straightforward to do that. Okay, let's see, Diana. It seems there was a delay as it did not show the prices when you clicked on the product during demonstration. I assume, Diana, you're referring to I don't know, one of the demonstrations. So I can actually show you maybe one of my other clients. I'm quickly browsing through this now. Let's say there, and we go there. Okay, so this is a client that that's in development. It's the University of Free State Business School, and I'll quickly show you the WooCommerce shop. It's very straightforward look and feel. There you go. We've set up the shop. These are my products. These are the courses that they sell. There are the prices of the courses, and I can go into any one of them and basically purchase the course. There's the course, there's the description. I usually make my pricing in red. There's a breakdown, additional information, description information. There's the lecture. So once I've basically told the guy that's the thing, go to enroll, and it basically puts it in your basket like Takealot, and there you go. Someone goes to place an order and they've purchased this. So Diana, I hope that answers your question. It's a bit of a quick demonstration, but we are coming up to more than 50 minutes. So guys, that sort of brings me to the end of, I want to go back onto my slides there. Okay, so that basically brings me to the end. I would like to ask you guys one more question. I'll start the poll here quickly. I want to ask you guys, from what I've demonstrated for you guys, which of the categories do you think will, in your case, be more applicable? It will be more important: the security ones, the optimization, the backups, the utilities, or the forms in the shop. So it obviously refers to what I can deem from it is, if you're more interested in the security side, or more interested, are you more concerned about security and backups, or are you more concerned about the shop? It's interesting because from the 5 answers, they're all basically equal. which is great because it means that the the plugins I've selected for you guys to show you are all basically in required. So that brings me to the end of this episode. Thank you a lot. Thanks a lot for joining. I've got on the screen, I'm sharing there with you guys. If you need any more information on the plugins or want to get in charge or get in touch, just email us or email me at info@Disalox, and you can visit the website. You've seen the website. I've demonstrated the backend for you guys. You can visit the website www.disalox.co.za, and I hope to see you guys soon on one of the episodes.